Anticipate needing a full hour to cover this. I do want to go over the presentation that we have prepared because, again, there are some individuals who are not able to make it here, and so I want to make sure that we have this as a record available for them. But I'm happy to answer specific questions that you might have, and I hope that a few others might be able to join us as well. My name is Matt Kleffenstein. I am the Assistant Director of National Fellowships, and I work specifically with graduate students. Our session tonight is aimed for both current graduate students as well as undergraduates who are considering a graduate degree and are wondering what sort of options might be available to help finance different experiences that they might want to pursue in a STEM-related graduate degree program here. So that's the larger focus of what our time tonight is going to look at. I'm going to be introducing just a variety of fellowships with the hope that there might be an option that is of interest to those of you who are here, but also just to introduce some of the types of funding that are available, the genres that are available, because they're not all the same sort of thing. Just to encourage you to be able to think broadly about the different options that may be a good fit for your particular situation. So that's the goal for what we're going to be taking a look at here. I will go ahead and share my screen to get the presentation started. And again, I welcome any questions that anyone might have along the way. You can drop them in the chat and I will respond to them and make sure they have time to cover them at the end as well here. All right, so quickly, what are we going to be doing tonight? As I mentioned, we'll talk a little bit about why you might be interested in this sort of opportunity, particularly for anybody who maybe is just considering a graduate degree program and is not currently enrolled in one. We'll take a look at different genres of funding, types of support that one might pursue, types of experiences that one might pursue as a graduate student. I believe we will see if one of our student fellows is able to join us this evening or not. I was told that we would have one, but I'm not sure if they're going to be able to make it. But I will certainly draw your attention to some of the student fellows who are volunteers for our office and can speak about their experiences and can help you navigate this process and learn a little bit more about particular opportunities, both for your field and with some of these programs here, and then indicate some additional resources that are available from National Fellowships Office to help you in your application journey, in your exploration of different opportunities here. I'll go ahead and skip over this right now since we have a small audience there, but I want to emphasize that there are a lot of different things that you can potentially do with the fellowship. I know a lot of students are initially interested because they want to know, what can I get that will help pay for cost of tuition? What can I get that might be related to providing me a stipend or providing funding for research equipment or experiences there? Those are all great reasons to do it, and I imagine that is a primary motivation for many of you. There are other kinds of things that can potentially be supported by the opportunities that I'm going to flag as well. And so I just want to flag some of the different things that can be of use to you through the types of opportunities that my office can help connect you with. Certainly, there are awards that will help pay the cost of tuition, that will provide funding for living expenses. Those are very important factors. And we will definitely look at some examples that are good options to consider for that. There are also opportunities that might help you pursue professional development, opportunities to do internships with government agencies or with industries. There's some opportunities even for STEM graduate students that would allow for conducting research or engaging in professional development activities in another country. I know it's often the case that the schedule of degree programs or the nature of the type of research and the labs that some of you may be working in as research assistants may make it difficult to participate in some international experiences, if that's something that you're interested in. There are some programs that may be avenues to pursuing those sort of things. That's particularly the case for anybody who is a current undergraduate student who may be considering a graduate degree and should be aware that there are ways to pursue that in the United States, but also in other locations as well here. And so these are options in some cases that are open to both current graduate students and to undergraduates who might be in the process right now of applying to graduate school, maybe applying in the next couple of months here, hoping to begin that first degree in the next academic year, or maybe just wanting to learn a little bit more about what sort of options they might have once they've started in on that master's or that doctoral degree here. So whatever stage that you're at, whatever sort of thing you might be interested in, there are different options that can relate to those sort of things there. And I would just encourage you to think broadly about the different possibilities. Because maybe in the process of exploring an option primarily about research, you discover that there's something that would be a great fit for your own professional development. And I want you to be aware of some of those tools that you can use as you go forward in whatever stage that you're at of your program or the program that you're hoping to be able to enroll in here. And we'll be touching on examples that relate to all of these different facets here. So the first category of fellowships that I want to touch on, and I'll briefly discuss each of these examples here, but these are meant to be illustrative of these types of awards, are awards that cover a range of different disciplines. They're not specific to one particular area of STEM. They're not just for engineers or for somebody in the life sciences or the biomedical sciences, but they are connected broadly with a particular focus and are open to a wide range of proposals there. These include some options that are useful for early stage graduate students, like the National Science Foundation Graduate Research Fellowship Program. This is an option that provides 3 years of funding for research-based master's or PhD programs in a wide range of STEM and social science disciplines. The deadline for this is coming up in just a few weeks here. This is an opportunity too that for individuals who are current undergraduates but planning to apply to grad school this fall, you can apply for this at the exact same time. It can support that graduate degree, and it provides a significant stipend plus covering the cost of tuition here. It's portable. You can take it to different institutions, and again, open to a wide range of disciplines here. NSF is focused on basic science. NSF is not is interested in the application of research, and in particular, its focus is different from health and biomedical sciences, but the National Institutes of Health, NIH, has graduate awards for doctoral students, that for students who are in the behavioral, the biomedical, the health sciences, are great sources of support for graduate training. And those are National Research Service Awards. They're sometimes known as F Awards, F30, F31, F31 Diversity. This is for health science training. This is something that can support up to 5 years of funding. This is something that many PhD students who are interested in will apply in maybe their second year or their third year, in some cases their first year. And it's a multi-year award potentially that provides a stipend, it provides tuition support, and it's meant to help support your training. So if you are not eligible for an NSF award, or maybe you are, but you're also looking for funding that's going to address some different areas, this is something that you should be considering as well. And it's open to, again, to a broad range of projects within the health sciences. Anything that the more than 20 institutes and centers of the National Institutes of Health is conducting research on is potentially eligible for this. And they have multiple deadlines every year. Yeah, the next opportunity, and I see we have a question about, is the Quad Fellowship. The Quad Fellowship is a new award that only had its first cycle last year. This is a partnership between 4 countries, Australia, India, Japan, and the US, and it provides support for students in research-based master's or PhD programs for individuals who are citizens of those countries. We have not yet heard what the deadline is yet for this year, so we are still waiting for them to announce their cycle. The very first year that they ran this program, the cycle they told us was a little bit different because they were trying to get it to coincide with some events that the countries that were involved were planning together. So last time, the deadline was in the summer. We're anticipating that the deadline, that the cycle might be opening up maybe this winter with more of a spring deadline. I've not yet heard from the foundation, but I will be sending out a notice to graduate programs, and we'll be sharing more information as soon as we know about this. My understanding is that the program is going to be running again this year. I was at a conference this summer. Representatives from the fellowship were there. So I know that this is still something that's ongoing, and I will share more information once it's available. You can go to the Quad Fellowship's website, and I believe you can sign up for email updates as well. So you can put your email address in there, and they will notify you once the application opens there. But that's a great question here. And this is a a fellowship, at least in the first year. It's possible that they might change their focus a little bit this time around. That was open very broadly to different STEM research disciplines, including a number of social sciences, that were interested in people who were conducting research and wanted it to make a larger impact in society, and really wanted to think internationally and collaborate with people as part of a cohort that came from all the countries that were joining in together. And this particular program provided support for funding, as well as some additional need-based financial resources and professional development opportunities together with the larger cohort. So these are all different programs that may be eligible or open to some of you, and they give you a range of some of the different types of funding that are out there, the different types of focus that are available, whether it's basic science, whether it's training, whether it is international professional development kinds of opportunities here. So this is one genre of fellowship that you might consider if you already see that you're eligible for that, or just to be aware that there are some funders that have these kind of larger blanket programs that encompass a wide range of disciplines. The next type of fellowship, and I'm going to give some specific examples from some specific agencies here, are ones that are associated with different parts of the federal government. Many government agencies and many national laboratories have graduate fellowship programs. This can mean a number of things. They can be financial awards, a stipend, tuition support, things like that let you continue your studies at your current institution, or pursue them at an institution that you're applying to. There are others that provide opportunities for more professional development experience. Summer internship programs, sometimes year-long programs where you're essentially working on a project that may be being conducted by a particular entity like the Center for Disease Control or the Department of Energy. There are other programs that might let you conduct research at certain facilities, national laboratories, allowing you to collaborate with experts, gaining access to specialized equipment that may be unavailable at most institutions. It can really be valuable for developing professional networks, for identifying potential PIs for postdocs, for all sorts of good things like that. And some of these programs, for those of you who might be interested in working for a national laboratory or working for a federal agency, can provide a direct pathway into federal service. One really good resource for finding some of these is a database called Zintellect, zintellect.com. If you go there, you can search by a variety of criteria. There are tools that let you filter by the level that you're at, by the broad field that you're in, by other sort of things that might be eligible, like whether there's a restriction based on citizenship or things like that. It lets you find out opportunities that could be a good fit for you. So I'm going to flag a few examples from a handful of agencies here, but this is not the full list. And I would encourage you, if you're interested in any of those types of experiences that I just mentioned here, to spend a little time searching on Zintellect and see what sort of options are coming there. In many cases, they might be things that are specific to a particular project right now, not necessarily something that happens every year. So I encourage you to check there periodically to see if there's anything that might be a good fit. But to look specifically at some examples of some of the things you might find here, or that you can find independently, depending on your field. One agency that offers a number of graduate fellowships and programs is NOAA, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, that handles oceanography, that handles a lot of weather and meteorology related awards, things related to national fisheries, to the estuary reserve system. There are a variety of awards for students who are in marine science, biological sciences, resource management, ecology, environmental sciences, disciplines that can provide support for study. They can provide professional development opportunities. They can provide experiences working with federal agencies. So these are three of the programs that NOAA offers. They actually have their own specific database. They have quite an extensive range. There's another fellowship about coastal management. There's another one that's specific about the National Marine Fisheries System that I didn't have up here. So I encourage you to take a little time to look at NOAA's specific database for student opportunities. But some ones that students from this institution have had success with include the Margaret Davidson Graduate Fellowship. We have a current graduate student who's a fellowship peer mentor, who is a Davidson Fellow. and has been working at a national estuary, doing public science work in addition to conducting her research. It provides a stipend to provide support for tuition and research expenses, and this opportunity is around this year. This particular fellowship is only offered every other year. This is a fellowship year, so if you are in a marine science discipline, if your research might be related to something that is connected with this research reserve system that NOAA has, you are would be wise to spend a little time looking into this. In these cases, yes, these awards, the question that was asked, are NOAA fellowships applicable for current students funding while they're at USC? These are awards that can be done while you are currently students here. At least the Davidson Award and the Foster Scholarship are. So you can apply for them potentially while you are looking at other programs there. You can also apply for them as current students and use that funding currently while you're here. So that those are definitely possibilities in that respect. The Foster Scholarship is specific more to oceanography and marine biology. The Canals Fellowship is a policy one. It's a one-year opportunity. And this is one actually that students typically do as a postgraduate experience that have applied for. And we have a current graduate student who is a alumna of the Canals Policy Fellowship. The last 2 years, we've also had PhD students who are finishing up be accepted into this and accepting positions, working with the federal government on things related to marine science, to oceanic policy for the government there. And you can learn more about each of these opportunities. And again, these are just three, I would say maybe the most common ones for USC students to apply to, but NOAA has a range of other fellowships, and you can learn more about the specific eligibility criteria of these awards and other opportunities if this is an area in which your research might fall. So NOAA is one example of an agency that has a range of different types of graduate funding. Another one is the Department of Energy. There are a couple of awards that the Department of Energy provides that can help support different types of graduate funding. The Computational Science Graduate Fellowship is a multi-year PhD funding award that provides a stipend and tuition for research that is about or makes use of high-performance computing. This is a program that has an early winter deadline every year, and it's open to a range of STEM disciplines, again, where either the focus is on studying high-performance computing, or it's research that involves it, that involves the use of high-performance computing as part of the research methodology there. The DOE also has a different program called the Science Graduate Student Research Program that allows you to conduct PhD research at a national laboratory. And there's some flexibility with this as well. This particular program actually has 2 deadlines every year. There's one in November, there's another one that happens later in the spring. I'll flag the one that's coming up here soon because that's the next cycle. But be aware that you can apply for this 2 different times each year. And you can look again for more information online. This is an opportunity that pays you to travel to and work side by side with leading researchers at one of the many Department of Energy laboratories located throughout the United States. And so if your research project would benefit from the equipment or the expertise that's located at some of these facilities there, this can be a great opportunity to really enhance the quality of the project you're working on. And again, it can be a great opportunity to start building connections with leading figures in your particular field as you think about your career going forward. Thinking about future collaborators, future mentors. And so different ways in which the Department of Energy can fund your research here. And I believe that they have some other awards too, but I'm just flagging some of this. They have a summer internship program as well, for example. One other department that has a number of graduate awards that I want to briefly touch on too is the Department of Defense. There are 3 awards that our institution has had a record of producing fellows and scholars for. This includes the National Defense Science and Engineering Graduate Fellowship. This is 3 years of PhD level funding with the stipend and the cost of tuition. for research that is relevant to areas that branches of the U.S. military have identified as priorities, things that they need in terms of technology, in terms of science research. You are not required to work for the military. The other two options I'm going to mention here do have a service requirement, but for this one, there's not that expectation. They're just interested in investing in research that's going to help advance some of the priorities that they have for specific agencies here. This is a fall deadline every year. This year's deadline is at the, actually, I think it's actually early November. I should have updated this slide with that particular deadline here. The SMART program, Science, Mathematics, and Research for Transformation, is a scholarship program, provides up to 5 years of funding. Again, for individuals who are pursuing degrees with interests that line up with priorities for the Department of Defense. This one is a pathway into federal service because you actually commit to working for the Department of Defense 1 year for every year that you receive funding. So if you receive 3 years of funding, you commit to work as a civilian employee. You don't have to join the military. You're not an enlisted service member, but a civilian employee for the Department of Defense. And so if you're interested in that, if you're interested in a federal position, maybe as a career path, and we're thinking about how, you know, a few years of experience in federal service might make you an attractive candidate for other types of jobs in the private sector, this could be a good option here. The same thing as a slightly more specialized program, the Cyber Scholarship Program, that's also offered by the Department of Defense and also has that one-to-one service commitment where you serve 1 year and then you receive, for every year that you receive funding. This is specifically around cybersecurity. So for individuals who are in computer science disciplines and in any sort of IT related discipline, this is an option that can help provide support for that. And we have current students who have received funding for all of these awards on campus, and we are able to connect you in case for the majority of the awards that I've shown here this evening with current students who can speak about their experiences and can be great resources to help understand the application process and to give insights into things that you could incorporate as you're considering applying for some of these opportunities here. So again, this is not an exhaustive list. I'd encourage you to spend a little time in Zintellect because there are more government agencies and sub-agencies that have different types of fellowships here. You know, the CDC has different types of awards. For example, the Food and Drug Administration has different types of awards. There are internship programs through the National Institutes of Health over the summer that allow you to conduct research. So lots of other options here. I'm just showing you these as examples of some of the ones that USC students have had a tradition of applying to and receiving funding for, and to make you aware that depending on what you're doing, if there's a government agency associated with it, there may be a source of funding that that goes along with that you might be able to identify. And I'm happy, my office is happy to talk with any of you individually, have a conversation about what sort of options might be available based on your particular situation. So we are always happy to continue that conversation beyond this evening here, depending on what information you're hoping to get going forward. So we've looked a little bit at some opportunities that are specific to a wide range of disciplines that are focused on the priorities of particular parts of the U.S. government. There are a few programs, another genre of types of graduate fellowships that have a specific professional development component to it, where there's a professional internship component to it, some kind of training that's built into it, in addition to providing some support for graduate studies in some cases. So that's another thing to be aware of, that in some cases you have opportunities to just get money for tuition and research, which is great, but others might provide you with a cohort experience, or might help get you connected with a summer research or internship experience, or might provide you with the connections with an industry-related opportunity here. And so I have 3 different options that fit into this kind of category on the screen here. One is the GEM Fellowship Program. This is specifically targeting individuals from certain underrepresented racial and ethnic backgrounds, U.S. citizens who are pursuing master's and PhD degrees in certain science and engineering disciplines here, and it provides tuition support and a stipend. It varies depending on the level, and it also provides you with a summer internship with either a government agency or with a corporate sponsor. And again, we have I can connect you with a current graduate student who has been doing internships with NASA and is supported through the GEM Fellowship Program to learn a little bit more about that opportunity. A similar program that's offered through the National Physical Science Consortium is called Graduate Fellowships for STEM Diversity. While the name says STEM Diversity, there's actually no restriction on applications other than having to be a U.S. citizen in terms of being eligible to apply, although they do give special consideration for individuals who are women or from underrepresented minority backgrounds. But the opportunity is open to anyone who is in an eligible discipline. It provides up to 6 years of support, and it provides a $20,000 stipend, plus the tuition is going to be covered by your graduate institution here, and it provides you with internships with specific government agencies. Agencies partner with this particular program, and they sponsor those awards for people. So if you're a fellow, you can get a stipend, you can get tuition that's going to help cover the cost of your graduate education, and you can also get a great professional experience working over the summer, building those connections with a particular agency, getting some of that on-the-ground experience that can be really beneficial for whatever your next step in your career is going to be. Another opportunity, I know that the first two are limited to U.S. citizens. This next opportunity does not have a restriction around citizenship here. That's the DAAD RISE Professional. RISE stands for Research Internships in Science and Engineering. The professional program is specifically for graduate students, and it provides professional internships of up to 6 months with major German corporations. This is actually a program that is sponsored by the German government. The internships take place in Germany, but you don't actually, in most cases, have to know German, and you can really think of it as an industry internship that happens to be taking place in Germany. Every year, the German government, through this program, solicits internship requests from different companies. And when this opportunity opens on October 15th, there will be a database where you can go and you can search who is looking for different interns, and you can apply to those specific positions there. And if you're accepted, you will receive a monthly stipend that will provide you with living support. You'll receive travel support that will let you travel to Germany. And these internships can be 3 to 6 months. They can take place at different parts of the year. And for anyone who's considering an industry career, this can be a great opportunity to work with a major multinational German corporation. We had a graduate student in chemical engineering a couple of years ago who did this program and was an intern with the chemical company BASF. After this internship, was immediately hired into their leadership development program in North America. So for that particular student, this internship led immediately to his first post-PhD job. And so if you're looking to industry as a possible option for where you want to go with the training and the skills that you're getting, this is a little bit different. It's not an award that's going to help cover the cost of your tuition right here, but it will pay for you to gain valuable professional experience. And again, in some cases, that might just be the door that opens that leads you into that first industry position that can really help you develop your career going forward. And this year, the deadline is going to be November 30th. And our office will be sending out more information once that application database opens on October 15th. So all of these, again, are examples of fellowships that have some sort of professional development cohort components. These are not the only opportunities that fall broadly into this category. There are other programs. Health Policy Research Scholars, for example, is a different program for individuals who are doing research that has applications for improving public health outcomes. So these are examples of types of fellowships where you might be able to get not just financial support, but professional experience that can really help you make the most of your time in graduate school and set the stage for what you're planning to do right beyond that. And then the last thing that I want to mention, just particularly for anybody who is not a current graduate student, is maybe still considering where they might want to study or thinking about what are some ways to pay for a degree. at a specific institution or in a specific part of the world. There are some programs that support graduate degrees in a variety of fields, many of them for study at non-U.S. institutions. The Fulbright program is a program for U.S. citizens that can do a number of things, including research and teaching English, but one of those things is earning a master's degree at an institution that participates in the program in other countries. And so in many cases, there are institutions that have specific degree programs aimed at STEM majors, or that are open to applicants from any field that can identify a graduate program that would be a good fit for them in that particular country. So it's not specific to STEM, but it's open to people who might be looking for that kind of experience there. The European Union has specific degree programs that they offer through a program called Erasmus Mundus that is open to applicants from a range of countries and are able to do multi-site graduate degree programs. They involve collaborations between different universities and offer going to be a distinct graduate training opportunity in that respect. There are also several institution or awards that are specific to certain institutions, like Cambridge or Oxford in the UK, like Stanford in the US, the Knight Hennessy program that sponsors a master's degree at Stanford here. So this is not specific to STEM awards, in some cases not specific even to the United States, but it's a reminder that there may be, again, particularly if you're not a current graduate student, there may be a program that can help you support your study at a particular location as you're thinking about this here. So these are a variety of different types of fellowships. And again, I encourage you to think of them as genres of fellowship. So if you've heard about something that sounds interesting, I would definitely encourage you to follow up and investigate it a little bit more. If you haven't heard about something, maybe nothing I've mentioned tonight is specifically eligible for you, I hope you at least can take away that there are a wide variety of types of fellowship experiences, and that I would encourage you to set up an appointment with our office so that we can talk individually and get a sense of what other options might be available in your case. All right, we were originally going to have a little plug from one of our current fellowship peer mentors, but unfortunately, looks like he was not able to make it this evening. I do just want to plug again, though, that we have a wonderful group of current graduate students who serve as fellowship peer mentors. These are students who are on campus right now, who have won a wide variety of awards, and they volunteer with our office, and they are available to talk with you. We're in the process of getting our website updated for this year, so we don't have their information on the website just yet. I'm happy to let you know if you're interested in a particular award. If we have somebody who is available to talk with you, we have a great program where we will pay for you to have coffee with them on campus and just have a conversation about what they're doing. But I can tell you right now, we have students who are fellowship peer mentors who have received awards like the Graduate Research Fellowship Program from the National Science Foundation, like those National Research Service Awards from NIH, from NOAA, from GEM, and multiple ones actually from NOAA here. And we have other students on campus who have received support from the Cyber Scholarship Program and the National Defense Science and Engineering grants. So we are always happy to help facilitate a connection to a peer who might be able to offer you perspective and a little bit of help with that application process too. And I would encourage you, if there's someone who's available, they all love talking to you. They're always happy to get to know you, always happy to be another point of support. And we are eager to facilitate those kind of connections here. Yeah, so Jake Watson, not here tonight, great person though. Definitely someone we're talking to. All right, so broadly speaking here, and now I'm thinking a little bit more to potential current undergraduates who are thinking about grad programs, putting together a strong application, very, very basically, it's about fit. It's about how do you match up with what a particular opportunity offers. I've mentioned a lot of different funders out there. They all have different missions. They're interested in different things. The same project might be something you could apply to the NSF and to the Department of Defense. But how you talk about that project is going to have to be a little bit different. Because one of those funders is interested in basic science. How is this going to make a contribution to this particular field, advance knowledge among scholars in understanding fundamental processes and phenomena and things like that. The other funder wants to know, how is this going to help us meet certain research challenges that matter to the U.S. military. So what you emphasize about your work is going to have to align with those particular priorities. So I encourage you to think a little bit about what it is that you're trying to do. Is what you're interested in have potential policy applications? If you're in marine science, does it also happen to line up with maybe the priorities of certain research facilities or institutions that the government has, like through NOAA and some of their programs that involve trying to share about reserve systems or trying to address issues of resource management, for instance, there. So finding that fit, identifying how you connect, and really making that case based on showing how the things you do are going to advance the interests and the goals of the particular program that you are applying to. I encourage you to start early in your exploration of these here. I think it's great that you have this interest right now. And whatever stage you're at in your program, doing a little bit of research, seeing what options are available, coming and talking with the fellowships office, getting our perspective and support there can help you make sure that you're ready when the time comes to apply. Because it really is a reflective process. It involves thinking about what you've done, what you want to do. And for anyone who is not a current graduate student here, a fellowship application can oftentimes be a really great complement to a grad school application. And in some of these cases, the timing of them is very similar. They're meant to go hand in hand. So you're working on that GEM application at the same time you're working on that grad school application. And so the work that you're doing on one is really helping to enhance the work on the other. And ideally, you get into the program that you want to get into, and you receive a great financial support to go along with that. It's also a process that involves revision. It involves thinking, it involves trying things, getting some feedback, making changes, being receptive to input from faculty members, from PIs, from other peers in your program, from people like the advisors in our office who are here to offer you constructive feedback to try to help you make your strongest case here. And I really encourage you to take advantage of all the resources that are available on campus. I've mentioned some of them tonight, like the fellowship peer mentors. I've mentioned, the support that we offer as an office here, and then of course the faculty members who are training you in your particular field here. We are all here to help you succeed, and we can all be resources in the process of putting together an application for any of these particular awards. So in terms of next steps, where does it go from here? Couple things you can do. I mentioned talking with us. One of the things that you can do is do a little bit of exploring in our own database. We have a database on our website called Info. For current graduate students, I can recommend some additional databases. I mentioned one of them tonight, Zintellect. That's a great place to start to identify some opportunities there. And then if you've done a little looking, if you found some options, or maybe you didn't find some options and you want to know what else is out there, make an appointment to come and talk with us. If you're a current grad student, calendly.com/grad-fellowships allows you to schedule an appointment with me, virtually or in person, where we can talk through options and I can share additional resources and provide feedback. Current graduate students can use Navigate EAB and schedule appointments with national fellowships. We're under engagement and involvement. If you know you want to apply for something, we have a form called Intent to Apply. That just lets us know that you're interested and that we should be following up with you so that we can make sure you have any updates about things that are coming up or about other programming and opportunities that we might have, events and so forth that would be of interest to you in that process here. I mentioned as well, we have a program where you can get coffee with one of our fellowship peer mentors. You can find out more information on our website. Again, for current grad students, that is in the process of being updated. But if you email me, which I'll have that information on the next slide here, I'm happy to tell you what you need to do to have that kind of conversation. We also have newsletters that let you know about things that are happening, that will let you know when deadlines are coming up, when we're offering workshops. We'll also share stories about some of our fellows, so you can know a little bit more about the kind of work that's being done by your peers and the kind of support that they've been able to secure from many of the agencies and opportunities that I've mentioned in our time together tonight. The Grad Fellowship Focus is for current graduate students. The candidate is for current undergraduates, but many of the opportunities that I mentioned here can be relevant to both audiences. You can find out and stay up to date by following us through those particular communications. All right, I'm going to jump to questions here in just a second, but first I just want to share my contact information here. I will be sending these slides to you tomorrow, and I'm happy to follow up individually. That is my email address. For current undergraduates, my colleague Chastity Graham is a great resource. She works with current undergraduate students with STEM fellowships. Please send us an email. But I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording at this point, and then we can have a conversation about any questions that you might have.